Hello everybody, and welcome to today's shorter than the hour Hatha mobility sequence that I've got prepared for us today, and a little different than normally. Today's flow will be labeled for intermediate and advanced practice. The reason being, we will be wearing extra weight. We will be wearing extra weight, not bait, on our wrists, on our shoulders, on our knees, and our ankles. So for this reason, I won't be offering ample modification, so that is why it will be labeled intermediate to advanced. So the purpose intended by labeling it this way is if you do not have super healthy ankles, knees, wrists, shoulders, you can maybe try another practice where I do offer for more modifications, variations, etc., etc. So, welcome. My name is Adriana, and today we will be doing a suggestion-based guide for some mobility movement using various yoga asanas, using various breath practices from yoga. So with that being said, let's get started by taking a comfortable seat somewhere near the middle of your mat. And as we begin to take a seat with a long spine, we begin to soften our gaze, allow for our shoulders to drop down in space, beginning to let any tension, anything that came before this, sort of soften away. And as we let those things go, let's bring awareness to the breath, noticing the breath moving your entire being. As you inhale, take up space, broaden, lengthen. As you exhale, let it go, contract, be with what is. And as you notice the breath, notice the spine and the various movements and contractions the spine makes as you breathe your naturally effortless breath. With your eyes closed or soft, bring both hands to the sides of your ribs for some diaphragmatic breathing. On your next inhale breath, breathe in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out, let it go through the mouth. On your next inhale, bring awareness to the sides of the rib cage and envision that your rib cage is opening to the outer sides of each side of the body. As you inhale, rib cage broadens. As you exhale, rib cage contracts. Sense and feel for your ribs coming together, drawing together near the sternum and near the back body. As you inhale, ribs widen, belly fills, belly button draws away from the spine. As you exhale, ribs contract, let it go. Belly button empties and draws towards the spine. 3 more following your own breath. Bring your hands to the sides of your hips, option to move away any flesh tissue from underneath the glutes or the sit bones. Palms at the sides, draw length through the spine. Inhale, lift palms up overhead. Exhale, lower palms to side. 1 more spinal extension just like that. Inhale, both palms come up overhead. Stay or lift your gaze. Stay or elbows come down in space, elbows in line with shoulders, cactus arms, fingers wide, gaze lifts, heart lifts. Inhale, palms up overhead. Exhale, 1 more time. Back bend with cactus arms. Inhale, palms come up overhead. Exhale, release your left palm, press the earth away through the left. as you root down through the right sit bone. Use your next exhale breath to lean left and knee out, pressing the earth away through the left palm. Inhale, both palms come up overhead. Exhale, release right palm. Press earth away through right palm as you root down through the left sit bone. Use your next exhale breath to lean right and knee out. Inhale, both palms come up overhead. Allow for your palms to interlace, meet at the top, bringing them down the body, down the midline, stopping at heart center. Press palms into each other. Use your next exhale breath to twist to the left and knee out. Inhale, come through center, pause. Exhale, twist right and knee out. Inhale, come through center, pause. Inhale, draw palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring palms back down the midline of the body, stopping at heart center. Next exhale, twist left and knee out. Hips stay where they are, twisting through the spine. Inhale, come through center, pause. Root down through both sit bones. Use next exhale to twist right. Hold for one breath. Inhale, come through center. Pause, release hands to side, and bring your feet out in front of you. So this will be a forward fold inbound angle. So our big toes are touching, our heels are touching, our feet are in front of the hips and the pelvis. Allow for flesh to be brought away from underneath sit bones and glutes. Option to pull your shins towards the body, lengthen through the spine as you lift your heart through center. Stay for one round of breath, and when you're ready, use an exhale to fold forward any amount. Option to interlace both palms over the tops of both toes. Fold forward here for 3 rounds of your breath. Rounds of breath, slowly inhale, walk your hands back towards your breathing body, lift palms up overhead, lengthen legs out in front of you, and place your palms at the sides of one thigh. From here, bend knees, spin knees underneath your hips, come into your tabletop. So if you'd like, you can march your hands up and down in space a few times, march your knees up and down a few places in time. From here, rooting down through the tops of our feet as our fingers are spread as wide as they'd like to go. If you'd like to bear less weight on wrists, you can come up onto balled fists instead. While here, simply press the earth away, bring awareness to the length in the neck. So drawing length through the neck if possible. On your next inhale breath, lift through crown, lift through heart, lower belly with control. While here, pause for one full breath cycle and imagine that you could separate your sit bones any amount in space. Shoulders pressing down and away from body. As you exhale, press earth away from you. Come into your cat pose. Rounding through upper back, chin tucks to chest slightly. And if you'd like, you can slide your hips back about 1 to 2 inches in space here. Inhale, flow back through cow pose. Exhale, push it back into cat. 2 more times each round following your own breath. Come back into a neutral tabletop. From here, tuck your toes. With toes tucked, sink your hips back towards your heels. Stay here if this feels good and plenty, or walk your hands back towards your breathing body, really rooting down through the balls of the feet and sliding those hips back onto your heels any more amount. Feeling the natural arches of the feet. Option to lift palms up overhead. Stay or cactus arms. Option 2, inhale, palms back up overhead. Stay, or hands can come together in prayer in your lower back. Stay, or hands can interlace behind your back, lifting fists up in space. Stay if that feels good and plenty, or fold forward any amount. Toes can untuck and rest your forehead or chin on the mat. When ready, release your bind. Walk your hands forward in space, child's pose. Option 2, bring your knees mat to mat distance apart. This can create more space for the body to be. Rooting your hips towards heels. Stay, or exhale, walk hands over to the left. Hold here for 2 rounds of your breath. Awareness comes to right side body. Inhale, walk palms through center, pause. Exhale, walk hands over to the right, middle fingers parallel with one another if available. Stay for 2 rounds of breath as your awareness comes to left side body. Good. Inhale, walk hands back through center. Press through the palms as you roll up through the spine. Walk your knees back to hips distance apart. Option 2, reset up your foundation. From here, tuck your toes to prepare for downward facing dog. So our toes are tucked. Exhale, slide hips back towards heels. Inhale, press through the balls of your feet as you lift your hips up and back in space. Option 2, pedal the earth away from you. As you pedal, you can turn your head side to side, lengthening the space through the armpits if available to you. Gaze can come towards your thighs or perhaps gaze up towards your navel. Hold for 1 more round of breath. Stay, or on your next inhale, come through plank, high plank. Option 2, adjust feet as needed. Stay for 1 round of breath here in plank. Use your next exhale to press it back into downward facing dog. Hold. And use your next inhale to come through high plank. Exhale, lower hips towards your mat, stacking your shoulders above your wrist. Allow for your toes to untuck and really press down through the tops of the feet, cobra. Stay, or press through tops of the feet. Lift your thighs up off the ground. Gaze comes up overhead. Root down through pelvis. Stay, or return your thighs to the mat. Stay, or allow for your elbows to bend. Come down into baby cobra. From here, allow for your elbows to hug the sides of the body and slowly lower your chin, lower forehead. From here, bring palms underneath your shoulders. Press down through tops of the feet as you press yourself up into tabletop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Press through balls of feet as you lift your hips up and back in space. Stay here, and when you're ready, use an inhale breath to walk your hands back towards your breathing body, standing forward fold. Option 2, swing your upper body back and forth in space like a ragdoll as you hug opposite elbows. Let your crown hang heavy. 2 more rounds of your breath here. And when ready, release your hands to the mat. Press the earth away as you roll up through the spine, lower back, middle back, upper back. Inhale, bring palms up overhead. Option 2, interlace palms here. Use an exhale to lean to the left as you root down through the right foot. Inhale, come through center, pause. Switch which fingers on top. So this is a very small micro movement here. And bring your palms back up overhead. Exhale, lean to the right any amount as you root down through the left foot. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, release hands to side. back in space. Allow for your hands to find the mat and walk yourself forward into a tabletop position. From here, tabletop, press the earth away through both palms. Root down through the top of your right foot as you bring your left knee in towards chest. Plant the left foot underneath the left knee. Stay or tuck your back toes. Inhale, lift up off your back leg, runner's lunge. Stay or option to walk your back foot in. Option to root your heel down and have your right toes face the top right corner of your mat. Stay or lengthen that front leg. Stay or root down through right hand or right tented fingertips. Inhale, lift your left palm up towards the sky. Soft gaze up towards that top thumb or anywhere off to the floor if your neck is giving you any sort of pain. Stay or when you're ready, slowly return your left palm to the mat. Bend your front knee, stay. When you're ready, walk your toes back, your back toes back in space, and let that knee come back down. Untuck toes, bring your left knee to meet your right, pause. Option to do any sort of somatic movement that feels good to you, maybe some spinal circles. Maybe you rest in child's pose. Maybe you come back up into tabletop and walk your hands forward for a downward facing dog version with knees down. One more breath here. And when ready, walk your hands underneath your shoulders and step your right foot forward. So right foot is underneath our right knee. When ready, tuck your back toes, stay or inhale, lift up off your back knee, runner's lunge. Stay for a breath, or if you'd like, you can walk your back foot up a couple inches. Option to root that back heel down, left toes facing top left corner of your mat. Stay with hands framing foot or lengthen that front leg. Hold here or press down through left hand or left tented fingertips. Inhale, reach your right palm up towards the sky. Gaze following that top thumb or maybe anywhere off to the floor if your neck is giving you any sort of strain. And keep drawing that right hip back in space. When you finish round your breath, slowly release your right palm. Bend your front knee and lower your back knee. Bring right knee to meet the left. And from here, walk your hands forward in that variation of down dog with knees down. So our palms are long, adding length through our armpits, ears in line with upper arms if available. Use the strength of the palms to really press your hips back in space. Stay here for 2 more rounds of your breath. When ready, slowly walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Exhale, sink it back, child's pose. Stay or bring your upper arms around the legs of the body. Resting your forehead or your chin on the mat. Option 2, bring this into a wide-legged child's pose. And hold here for 2 more rounds of your breath. Stay or walk hands forward. Press down through the left palm as you lift your right arm up in space. Thread the top of your right hand through the space created by the left arm. Thread the needle. Bring your right ear or right side of face to your mat. Hold here for 2 more rounds of your deep breath. When ready, press through left palm, walk right hand out and long. Lift your left arm up in space and thread the top of left hand through the space created by right arm, resting the side of your left face or ear on your mat. Hold for 2 deep rounds of your breath. Press through right palm as you reach your left hand out long. Slowly walk your hands back towards your breathing body. Come towards the middle of your mat and bring your feet together in space. Baddha Konasana, down the ankle. From here, option to bring your hands to the top of your shins and pull your heart through center. Stay or exhale, forward fold with palms interlaced over tops of feet. Hold for 3 rounds of your breath. When finished with rounds of breath, slowly draw your knees together in space and bring your arms around the backs of your thighs. Let everything move somatically, organically as you rock side to side, hugging yourself into a small ball, curling the top of your crown towards your knees. When you're ready, slowly come to sit in a comfortable seat of your choice. If you have your legs crossed in the beginning, maybe you bring the opposite leg to the front for our pranayama practice. So for today, we will be doing a more intentional version of the diaphragmatic breathing that we did at the very beginning of this video. So a nice long spine is very recommended. If you'd like to lie down for this portion, feel free. You can come to sit up on a block or a rolled up blanket underneath you. Anything to encourage a long spine and an elongated lower back. So from here, option to place your hands on the sides of your ribs. And again, we'll start with 2 cleansing exhale breaths, and then we'll move through 6 guided rounds of diaphragmatic breathing, after which we'll have a minute of silence and then lead into our Shavasana practice. Hands at the sides of your ribs, spine is long, eyes are soft or closed. Inhale through the nose, and sigh out the mouth. One more just like that. Breathe in through the nose and observe rib cage opening to the outer sides. Breathe out through nose or mouth and observe rib cage contracting towards each other. Inhale through the nose, observe rib cage opening, observe belly filling, belly draws away from spine. Exhale, observe belly contracting, belly button coming towards the spine. Inhale, belly fills. Exhale, release all contents from belly. Inhale, belly button draws away from spine. Exhale, belly button draws towards spine. Inhale, rib cage opens in space. Exhale, rib cage contracts in space. Your eyes still closed or soft, return to your easy, effortless breath for the next minute of silence. closed or soft gaze, allow for yourself to unroll onto your mat. Legs are long, crown reaching towards the top of your mat. Allow for your palms to come to the sides of the body, palms face up if available, feet externally rotating away if that's what they'd like to do. Chin slightly tucked, eyes closed or soft. And give your body, your breath, your mind complete permission to do nothing other than to be, other than to breathe for the duration of our practice. If at times you find yourself becoming distracted, first invite the distractions, notice them, observe them, and then do your best to remember that you are just watching these thoughts, these mind ideas come up. And you are not these thoughts, these ideas. They're just happening to you. Use your breath as your anchor to return to this inhale, this exhale, this moment of now. We'll be here for about 1.5 minutes. I invite you to lengthen your shavasana anywhere from 7 to 40 to 1:40. Begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, draw small circles with the ankles and with the wrists in one direction. Pause and reverse your circles. Bring your hands to the sides of your hips and hug everything in towards the midline. Use an inhale breath to lift palms up overhead. Taking one last long pencil stretch in opposition. As you exhale, hug your knees towards chest apanasana. Feel free to rock side to side in space. From sit bone to sit bone, gently reawakening the spine. Inhale, lift your right arm up overhead. Exhale, roll to the right side, pause. When you're ready, bring your left hand in near your ribcage and slowly press yourself into a comfortable seat just as we begin, giving ourselves a moment to close our practice. With our hands resting at our lap or perhaps together at heart center, let's use these last final moments to thank yourself for showing up for the yoga of your mind, your body, your breath. I thank you so much for sharing your virtual practice with me, and as always, thank every teacher who's come before us to share this beautiful gift and tradition of yoga. May we always keep our breath so close and remember it is the greatest help for any transition, physical or mental or emotional. I'll say one deep round of breath for you. we do our best to live like the lotus at home in the muddy waters. Namaste. Peace, 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 peace. Have a good day.